This is the 2021 Tesla Model Y. This particular example is on loan to me from Jeremy of reallifetrading.com, which, by the way, if you are interested at all in learning how the stock market works and becoming financially independent, reallifetrading.com is a voice of reason in a absolute sea of fakers and hucksters that are out there. If you want to learn for real how the stock market works and how people make money on that and how to become financially independent, go check them out. Their training is free and it is world class. Now, this car here is absolutely mind-blowing because it is a mass market electric vehicle. We have had the Tesla Model S and Model X before, but this is the Model Y. The Model Y is intended to be a mid-range vehicle as far as costs go. The S and the X were luxury vehicles, let's face it, and they had price tags to match. But this one, this is the people's electric car. And frankly, it's phenomenal. I own a Model X P100D. I am someone who loves cars. I think it's the 14th or 15th car I've ever owned. And that car is probably the best car in the world in my estimation. However, this Model Y is not bad for something that is not designed to be a raging, fire-breathing electron machine. This thing is quick and it has a lot of tech packed into it. So I believe the 0 to 60 time is in the mid 4-second range on this, which is super fast. I've owned a 2007 AMG E63 Mercedes, which that car had a ridiculously powerful V8 engine. It is known by enthusiasts as being one of the coolest cars out there, and this Model Y could actually theoretically keep up with it. I wish I still owned that car so that we could do a drag race with it, but I'm glad I don't, because the repair bills on that thing and the maintenance on it were not cheap. So this is a extremely mechanically simple vehicle that is reliable. It's something that can probably get over 500,000 miles on the powertrain and battery, and also still provide you with that high performance thrill of extreme acceleration and great handling. Now, it's not going to make the fun noises that the AMG E63 could do, but it can make a lot of other silly noises instead. For example, this car can fart, it can make goat noises, it can sound like a horse walking down the street, it can make sarcastic comments at passersby, it can do all kinds of silly things in the sound range that no other vehicle in the past has ever been able to do. But anyway, what's it like to live with an electric vehicle? That's the most important question. That's probably why you are watching this video. So I ordered my Model X. It is used. I bought it off the Tesla website in November of 2020. It arrived a couple weeks later. And in the meantime, while I waited for it to arrive, I had a NEMA 1450 outlet installed in my garage. Now, Tesla will want to sell you a $500 wall connector, and if you come and go from your house a lot during the day and you drive a lot of miles in between, then that's probably right for you. But the route that I went with the NEMA 1450 is perfect for me. It charges at about 20 miles per hour of range. Will go into the battery when it's plugged in, and that outlet only costed $300 to get installed. And now I have an extra outlet in my garage, so when I sell the house, anybody with an EV, which this will be important in the future as EV becomes a very common thing to have, they'll be able to plug in there and it doesn't have to be a Tesla. Now, as far as what it costs to charge up, honestly, I don't know. I just don't know how much it costs to charge up. I do know that my electric bill went down a little bit the month after I started charging my new electric vehicle at home, so I don't think it had a huge impact. Maybe we just ran the air conditioning less that month, and that more than compensated for charging the car at home. And I do drive every day. I like to make up errands that don't even exist so that I have an excuse to go drive my Model X. Now the Model Y, this vehicle actually will get a little bit better range than my Model X because the battery tech has gotten better and it doesn't have quite as much of a weight factor that will draw juice from the battery because the X is a heavier car. This car here is actually fairly lightweight and has significantly better heating and cooling technology for the interior cabin. Here is the app. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the climate. Started off at 72. Don't have a passenger, so I'll turn that seat warmer off. But as you can see, the vehicle is now starting to warm up. It's called the octo valve, which if you want to go look that up and nerd out, perfect. But essentially it allows the Model Y to have significantly better range and the passengers not have to sacrifice turning on the air conditioning or the heater and staying comfortable at the same time. It's an extremely efficient heating and air conditioning unit for the vehicle. Now, one thing that does kind of strike me about the Model Y is that they're produced very quickly. They seem like they're in a rush to make them, which doesn't surprise me because they sell them as fast as they can build them. So naturally there's going to be kind of a rush in building these cars, but they're a little bit rough around the edges in some areas. You'll see that in my video. It actually, one of the doors cut me. Here you can see on my hand that there was a little cut from a little sharp edge on there, and some of the panels aren't perfectly aligned. As far as Model Ys go, this particular example here is pretty good as far as build quality, but there is more to be desired in this vehicle, especially if you're going to be spending $62,990 on a 2021 vehicle. You want the build quality to be perfect. With Tesla, it's not quite perfect, but the rest of the car is so awesome that frankly nobody super cares about their panel gaps being a little bit too far apart, which the panel gap is just like the crack between like the door and the rest of the car when it closes, that kind of thing. Some perfectionists, it annoys them, but most people that own a Tesla enjoy having the Tesla so much that they will forgive it its imperfections. And I'm one of those people. My Model X has some panels that just don't line up perfectly, and you can even see it from 20-30 feet away when you're looking at the car. But the driving experience is, and just the technology and automation in it is so good that I wouldn't even consider owning a different vehicle now. I used to have dream cars of like a Mercedes G-Wagon SUV, of a Range Rover with a supercharger in it, of especially I'm a big fan of four-door performance cars, but now I don't even care about them anymore. I'll be honest, if I had that kind of car, I wouldn't drive it more than on the weekend, and even a little bit at that, because the Tesla experience is just that good. And once you drive an electric car for a significant amount of time, you don't want to go back. It just feels like the car is broken if it's not electric. But that's my thoughts on the Tesla Model Y and electric vehicles in general. Yeah, you have to get a charger installed in your garage, and yeah, the build quality is not always going to be 100% perfect, but the upside, the car will drive itself. You don't have to pay for gas. You don't have to worry about the car breaking down. It's mechanically extremely simple. It's just the best kind of car that you could have. For me, I don't think I'll ever have anything else. My next vehicle is going to be a Cybertruck, and after that, probably a Plaid Model S or a Tesla Roadster 2. And that's just me at this point. I don't see really owning anything that's not electric in the future. And well, it wouldn't be a Tesla video without testing out Autopilot, right? So let's get into this 5 o'clock traffic here and see how much of a workload it can take off for me. All right, so basically I just have to have a road with stripes on it so that the autopilot can tell where the lanes are. There is a new version of the autopilot coming where it will be able to interpolate and decide where the lanes are without stripes, but we don't have that yet. That's coming later, 2021. Let's go ahead and turn on the autopilot. And there it goes. And this is why I will need to have a Tesla as a daily driver for the rest of my life, because this is freaking awesome. It just doesn't get any better than this. I went on a long road trip yesterday. It was about 8 hours of driving. Took the Tesla Model X P100D, and man, that thing on the interstate, it takes so much of the stress of road tripping off. It is so worth it. So this blue icon here is autopilot on. If it appears and it's gray, it means that autopilot is an option and it's a road you can turn it on. So again, basically any road that has stripes, it will work. Again, not driving with my hands, not driving with my knees. The car is driving itself. So you'll see a little notification pop up here sometimes, which just reminds you to put your hand on the wheel and let the car know that you're paying attention, because it does like to know that a human is paying some degree of attention to what's going on. So it will say, please apply slight steering force to the wheel. It'll also let you know when a traffic light is coming up as well that it has to compensate for. But it'll just sit here and you don't have to do anything. And that's autopilot. It is freaking awesome. It will stop at red lights, it will go through green lights, and it will stop at stop signs. It's pretty smart.
Well, I never. Toss a coin to your witcher.
let's go for a drive. To unlock the Model Y, you place the key card, you tap it on the center of the B pillar here, and now it's unlocked. And when you get in, you will place the key card right here and tap the brake. And when it makes that sound and all the little indicators light up here, it means it's ready to go. At that point, you want to probably put this card in the cup holder or somewhere safe, just because it will slide right off if you just leave it there. Now, this high gloss center console, by the way, you'll probably want to get a protector for it. There are lots of aftermarket protectors you can get for it, just because it will start to show fingerprints very, very quickly. It's very clean right now because I cleaned it up with a microfiber cloth, and that's probably what I would do if I owned this Model Y, is just keep it super clean with a cloth. But I'm different than most people. Now, here is the phone charging spot here. You can actually set your phone on here and it will wirelessly charge, which is super useful. And then you can close this so that if you do some spirited driving, your phone doesn't come out, or you could just not see any notifications as well, which is kind of nice sometimes. Now, this Model Y has heated seats. That is on right now. Let's go for a drive. Just saying.